These dances, these masks, these strange rituals have meaning. They describe precisely the relationship between a remote African tribe and the heavens. This tribe believes all life comes from a distant dark star, invisible to the naked eye. Recently, modern science was able to find this star and confirm its existence. Now we must ask, how did a primitive people, lacking instruments of any kind, discover a dark star hidden deep in space? In Central Africa, among fortress-like cliffs on the southern edge of the Sahara Desert, live a people called the Dogon. 1,000 years ago, fleeing from warring tribes, the Dogon found refuge here. The Dogon have endured and preserved mysterious ancient knowledge. Knowledge of an invisible star and its movements through the heavens. The hum of the bull roar is believed to be the voice of the sacred star. It calls initiates to a ceremony high in the cliffs.
We come to the Earth, which, well, grew to get here, the way it is now. Here is our world, our planet Earth, floating in space. We will be going backward in time, imperfectly, but done in a very disciplined manner. Please notice there is no subduction. no rotation of tectonic plates, no twisting, no form-fitting, no altering shapes or sizes. It would be impossible for these continental plates to fit together perfectly without this being true, and yet the upper tectonic plates fit together perfectly on a much smaller planet. Yes, there's been some erosion, landslides, blah blah, but overall this activity is insignificant. There is a kind of conspiracy of silence among certain scientists. They know but are not telling you that the upper tectonic plates of Earth also join in the Pacific. Not partially, they join totally. You are asked to believe that the continents swim or drift about willy-nilly, bumping and crashing as if they were on a greased skillet. This is not true. The simple truth is apparently too upsetting to too many apple carts. We're now going forward in time to show how the actual growth of the Earth took place. Imperfect as to details, but the overall is nailed. Antarctica, as you see, has become subtropical. Africa, on a smaller globe, moved way downward under the globe. In fact, for hundreds of millions of years, the bottom of Africa was the South Pole. South America's tail goes under and wraps around the bottom of Africa. Then incredibly, it joins coast with Antarctica. 65 million years ago and more, these continents were joined, and marsupials like the duck-billed platypus roamed from Australia, Antarctica, and across southern South America and up into Africa. The platypus. Dinosaurs roamed all over this world on the upper tectonic plate because there were no oceans, just shallow seas. Here today, Antarctica is frozen over, and Australia and its surrounding islands are the remaining home of marsupials. Do you see how broadly the Pacific is opening compared to the Atlantic? This is exactly why the knee-jerk Pangea theory exists. The Pacific spread is too difficult to easily visualize because it's so big. The Atlantic spread is so obvious that a child would recognize it, but they are the same.
Guys, I've gotten a lot of emails and comments asking about the strange noises that we hear that are being reported around the world. And I've dug into everything I can find about it, and the thing that makes the most sense to me is there's a new phenomena that they discovered last year, and it's called a space quake. What you're seeing in this video is these lines are stretched during a solar flare. They pop like a rubber band. They come back in and bombard the Earth's atmosphere. Let this play again. Now, they're saying that they can be picked up on seismographs and will register up to a 6-point quake. Now, that's on the ones they've detected so far. I guess the intensity of this snap would determine the intensity of the effect on our atmosphere. I'm going to put some links to some information about this video, but again, let's watch this. As this is stretched to a point, a breaking point here, this is bombarding the atmosphere. It will create the sound. It will create the effect of a quake. Hold on.
Hey folks, this is the quick version of how HAARP-like technology could be dangerous. Now it's all going to come together at the end, folks, so be patient. We're going to start with lightning. You ever been listening to AM radio during a thunderstorm and noticed harsh static every time lightning flashes? Well, just as there's an electrostatic beginning to that lightning, there's an equal opposite reaction in the form of Whistler waves, electromagnetic radiation discharged by the lightning event up through the ionosphere, plasmasphere, and magnetosphere. And it tends to scatter trapped energetic particles, pushing some to unusually low altitudes. Now you can see here the green line is one magnetic field line. The red lines of Whistler waves from lightning going up and causing the opposite flowing helix, forcing electrons to precipitate down along the magnetic field line, bunching at the bottom. And as you can see, regardless of where the discharge is relative to the field line, its energy is captured there and added to all the rest, having a cumulative effect, amplifying the wave. Now, not only can electromagnetic radiation redirect energy backward, like we see here naturally from lightning, but it can be man-made propagated to the magnetic conjugate point on Earth. In the simple experiments, VLF waves were propagated from Antarctica to a receiver in Canada. Now, Stanford researchers discovered that this energy can be pushed along the Earth ionosphere waveguide to any point on Earth via a low-frequency receiver. And these things are all across the globe. Now, Stanford's research continued into the currents that make the Northern Lights, and is now one of the foundations of the HAARP program. Now imagine this is not just a few instantaneous moments of discharge from lightning, or some low-energy man-made VLF transmissions like the simple experiments, but a high-frequency propagator millions of times stronger. Now these things aren't as terrifying as they look, but they display the range of different electromagnetic effects that Tesla technology, scalar, wave propagation can put out there. Now, these perturbations are supposed to heat the D region of our atmosphere for study, but it is admitted that they have a noticeable effect on the other layers of our ionosphere as well. Man-made Whistler waves, just like X-ray flares and solar plasma, are threats because of our dependence on the status quo of our protective layers. Now, the high-frequency modulator at HAARP and others like it all around the world increase the conductivity of the ionosphere by, among other things, scattering the auroral electrojet driven by Earth's magnetic field. Now, Stanford claims that HAARP is never turned on full power, and when propagating all the way through the magnetosphere only does so to the magnetic conjugate point in the South Pacific. They admit that they can, just say that they don't. And frankly, folks, if they wanted to, the whole world would know. Every magnetometer on the planet would show it.
We would like to begin this exchange with the idea that many of you have now begun to discuss in recent times upon your planet, of the idea of vortex vibrations. What is a vortex? Good question. Thank you. The idea, in the most, shall we say, simplistic terms, is that there are a variety of different kinds of vortices. Some of them you call earth chakras, similar to the idea of the chakra system, the energy system, in your own individual bodies. Some of them are simply what might be called run-of-the-mill vortices that exist in and around the grid of the planet, the energy grid of the planet, being that, in a sense, your planet is a type of crystalline form. There are certain nodal points, certain energy flows in and around it in the electromagnetic field of your world. And these grid points very often culminate in the idea of a vortex. Now, again, in the most simplistic terms, what's the difference between a chakra point and a normal vortex? Good question. Thank you. The simplest way we can phrase it is by analogy. The chakra points are like faucets. The vortices are like drains. The chakra points pour into your world energy, radiate energy, give off energy that they tap into from a variety of dimensional planes, and from your Earth itself, and from your solar system, and from the electromagnetic field, regulate and pulsate these frequencies and emanate them into your world in a variety of ways to create a stable field in which you can experience the idea called physical reality. The normal, so to speak, vortices are where the energy flows go out. Now, this does not mean something cannot come through a vortex from another place, but the general flow is chakra in, vortex out. And the vortices thus then are like gateways and doorways to a variety of different vibrational states, different energy states, different dimensional states, and therefore can be utilized like doorways as access portals to different dimensions. For example, one of the strongest vortexes, or vortices, if you will, that you have upon your planet that is very familiar to you, is what you typically call the Bermuda Triangle area, which acts as a fluctuating gateway and doorway to different dimensional levels, different vibratory states, different energy states, and why a variety of individuals and craft have from time to time disappeared or vanished in that area. Not all of them always go through a portal to another dimension. Sometimes the magnetic structure of a very strong vortex can wreak havoc in your instrumentation and simply cause certain vehicles to crash or sink, and thus they are simply lying on the bottom of your ocean floor. But from time to time, you will also find that when the confluence of energies is correct, when the vibrations are in balance in a certain way, gateways and portals and doorways will open to other dimensions, and if one of your craft go through them, they can, in that sense, shift to that reality. They do not always have a way of getting back, since they do not know how to navigate these portals in the same way that other civilizations do, but you will learn in time. The idea also of a chakra point on your planet is that in emanating certain frequencies, it regulates, as we said, some of those frequencies. Again, not that a chakra, being that it is emanating, can't also be a doorway to other dimensions. But the idea is that when you immerse yourself in the energy bubble of a chakra point, a major chakra point on your planet, such as, for example, what you call Mount Shasta in your immediate area, you can thus then take upon yourself an alignment of that energy. It can entrain you. It can allow your own physical electromagnetic field to become aligned with that frequency so that you can be more in tune with the earth vibration, depending upon also what specific vibration that chakra point may be representing. Because similar to your body, each chakra point on the planet does have a slight difference in degree of signature vibration that is relevant to the different chakra points in your body. Such as, again, for example, the area in your Hawaiian Islands that you call Haleakala, being the heart chakra of your planet. Thus then, if you immerse yourself in the energy in proximity to the Haleakala mountain, you will find that it will help align your own heart chakra energy and amplify and magnify that energy in a variety of ways. Now, this can be experienced by any of you in a positive and or a negative way. It is really up to you, and it is determined by what you bring, so to speak, to the party. But the idea is that it causes magnification and amplification of what you do bring and gives you an opportunity to decide how to align your energies now that you have been put in touch with them by immersing yourself in that energy field. This does not mean you cannot do this in other locations, but the idea is that your planet does have these natural points that are natural amplifiers, natural magnifiers, and they interact with each other in very specific ways. Both the chakras and the normal vortices interact in a variety of ways, creating a pulsing grid of energy around the planet, lines of energy that you can tap into and do tap into biologically all the time, and again can be used to amplify, magnify, or alter or adjust your own electromagnetic vibrations in a variety of ways according to how you decide, how you choose to utilize those energies.
We're now going to do a demonstration of Tsoket, which is the chordal voice that the Tibetan lamas use in their chanting. This produces a three-note chord, a fundamental pitch, a sub-fundamental pitch, and a higher tone that accompanies the voice.
Was blue, Erik. Once. The old stories tell of an age that would come such as this, when Fenrir the wolf would swallow the sun, and a great winter would settle on the world. It was to be an axe age, a sword age, a storm age, when brother would turn against brother and men would fight each other until the world was finally destroyed.
This is the age of Ragnarok. Wait, Freya. Is there nothing men can do?
The gods are asleep, Erik.
Well, I will go and wake them up then. Tell me what I must do.
Erik, far out in the midst of the Western Ocean there is a land. Men call it High Brazil. There you will find a horn. This horn is called resounding. You must take the horn resounding, and 3 times you must blow it. The first note will take you to Asgard. The second note will awaken the gods. And the third note will bring you home. But remember, Erik, once you are in the spell of the horn, hatred will destroy you.
Gods! What have we done?
Stay calm. This is not happening.
What is that?
Now, I know what some of you must be thinking. The day has come, we're all going to go down, etc., etc. But let's get away from the fantasy and look at the facts.
We do seem to be going down quite fast, Your Majesty. Not trying to contradict you, of course.
Of course you're not, citizen. But let's stick to the facts. The threat of total destruction has kept the peace here in High Brazil for 1,000 years. So whatever else is happening, you can rest assured High Brazil is not sinking. Repeat, not sinking.
May I just make a point in support of what King Arnold's just said?
Oh, we'd be delighted, wouldn't we?
Yes!
We certainly like to hear.
Save yourselves! High Brazil is sinking! Oh, but you don't know our safety precautions.
It can't happen.
But it is, look!
I've already appointed the Chancellor as chairman of a full committee of inquiry into exactly what is going on. And in the meantime, I suggest we have a sing-song.
Good idea.
Relax! 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 I'm trying! I can't swear! Stop! Let go! Excuse me. You're itching. Well, that's what you're supposed to do. Come on.
I think we're getting better.
How can you tell?
Father!
Oh, it's not happening.
Father, it is!
Get on board!
No thanks.
Who do you think you are? Panic mongers. Come on, over here!
Leave us alone.
Yeah, leave him alone.
Sinking! High Brazil is sinking!
Well, I know. I think you'll find it's all a question of what you want to believe in, and I happen to have more experience in these matters than you do, I think.
Don't blow it, you. Don't. What might happen?
It has not spoken for 1,000 years. Let's bring it to life.